My name is Martin Howard, and this is my assignment 1.
The organisation is a leading provider of vegetation management services, operating 2 integrated divisions, arboriculture and landscape maintenance. Arboriculture serves both retail and institutional clients, whereas landscape management focuses exclusively on institutional clients, delivering large-scale projects such as highway maintenance. Both divisions operate from Northern Sydney office, leveraging their integrated capabilities to offer clients a comprehensive single provider solution that eliminates the need for multiple contractors. The organisation's purpose is to enhance urban environments through safe, sustainable and high quality tree management and landscape maintenance services. Our mission is to be recognised as the employer of choice within the arboricultural and landscape maintenance industry by attracting, developing and retaining skilled professionals who share our commitment to excellence and environmental care. The long-term vision is to be the employer of choice and the leading provider of arboricultural and landscape maintenance services in Greater Sydney, known for setting new standards in quality, safety and sustainability. A clear, well-documented strategy statement is lacking and not well understood by middle management. Collins and Ruxted explain that without a clear statement, the organisation experienced disjointed functions and employees struggle to make effective decisions. This is often because executives themselves are not fully clear on the essential elements of a strategy statement, being objective, scope and advantage, and must be able to articulate them. Despite the absence of a formal strategy statement, the organisation still provides sufficient information to support the strategy analysis. As the business has evolved, it has shifted away from retail clients to focus on long-term contractual services for business-to-business and business-to-government institutional clients. Using the Hambrick and Fredrickson strategy design framework, we can clearly define where the business will compete, how it will win, and the value it will deliver. The organisation differentiates itself through scale, professionalism, wholly owned machinery, modern systems, and machinery-based operations that improve efficiency, reduce risk, and enhance service delivery. Plateau Trees emphasises employee training, safety, and career development, positioning itself as an employer of choice. Joint ventures add further strength by combining complementary expertise to secure larger, more complex contracts. The company also maintains a strong market image through high-quality equipment, professional client-facing staff, and dedicated contract managers supported by administrators to ensure exceptional communication. In assessing the external environment or the macro environment which shapes our strategic position, we apply the PESTEL framework to analyse political, economic, social, technological, legal and environmental factors. The most relevant to our industry are political, economic and environmental, where both threats and opportunities are most significant. As the largest share of our client network are focused on government clients, government spending adds significant risk and great opportunity for the business. According to the Australian Local Government Association, the federal government announced additional funding for safer roads and increased emergency management capacity. This finding may well result in an opportunity to increase earnings from LGAs, with further opportunities to expand our servicing in road maintenance. For economics, wages are projected to grow, according to the data from the Australian Bureau of Statistics, reversing a recent trend of stagnation. This will influence the strategic landscape by affecting labour costs and the organisation's ability to offer competitive pricing within the industry. As a result, the organisation must look for ways to save costs in other areas of the business, such as reviewing roles that are not required and considering potential redundancies, or areas of wastage such as fuel consumption. For environmental factors, our clients, large Tier 1 and local governments, are increasingly prioritising environmental sustainability in their procurement process, seeking clear value added and measurable outcomes in their tenders. Now, our organisation collaborates closely with clients to ensure compliance and environmental KPIs, and we provide solutions that contribute to greener spaces such as tree planting services. This proactive approach enhances our competitive advantage, turning sustainability requirements in an opportunity rather than a risk. Using an outside-in perspective, I analysed the MESO environment through Porter's 5 forces to assess the attractiveness of our industry and understand the competitive pressures that shape our strategic position. Porter emphasises that organisations should position themselves where competitive forces are weakest, and this is particularly relevant in our target market. The threat of new entrants is low in institutional sectors because of high regulatory requirements and Tier 1 compliance standards. As Greenwald and Kahn explain, incumbents hold a strong advantage because new entrants lack the experience, references, management systems, and scale needed to compete. Incumbents also benefit from captive customers, as government procurement processes create high switching costs. For our organisation, this advantage is reinforced by established systems, fully owned plant and machinery, and low debt to equity ratio, which together support low managerial operating costs. The bargaining power of suppliers remain moderate to high. Even though new entrants are unlikely, incumbents still compete for preferred supplier status, particularly for undifferentiated services where local governments often prioritise price over quality. The bargaining power of suppliers is most visible in our reliance on fuel. After wages, diesel and petrol represent our highest costs, meaning even small fluctuations can directly affect our profitability. The threat of substitutions is effectively negligible, as no alternative exists unless the government were to cease vegetation management entirely. Rivalry amongst existing competitors is high, especially for companies that do not differentiate. Over time, competition has compressed margins and reduced the perceived value of services relative to operational costs. Overall, Porter's 5 forces highlights that our strategic advantage comes from incumbency, strong scale efficiencies, and the ability to differentiate through integrated management offerings. These factors justify our mid-range pricing and position us strongly in a market where solid barriers to entry but intense ongoing rivalry. The inside-out approach examines the organisation from a resource-based view, focusing on how tangible and intangible assets justify the strategic position. This begins with highly skilled staff whose capability and performance consistently exceed that of the competitors. This level of expertise supports our mid-range pricing and reinforces our positioning as a quality service provider. In addition, our modern, fully owned machinery and access to funding for new equipment further strengthen our competitive advantage by enabling efficient, reliable service delivery. Offering a complete end-to-end vegetation management solution also differentiates us in the market. Using Barney's framework, our resources can be assessed across 4 criteria of value, rare, inimitable, and organised. Our integrated services, combining arboricultural and landscape maintenance under one contract, is valuable to the institutional clients because it reduces their costs, simplifies contract management, and improves operational efficiencies. It is also rare in the industry with no other organisation providing this level of service integration supported by comparable management expertise. These capabilities are difficult to imitate due to the complexity of the combined services, the specialist knowledge required, and the significant machinery investment needed. Finally, as an incumbent with strong management systems and a large experienced workforce, we are organised to fully leverage these capabilities, which results in sustained competitive advantage. To summarise, attention was drawn to the current situation, including who the organisation is, what they sell, to whom they sell, and to whom they do not sell. Then, using the outside-in approach to gain an understanding of the market's attractiveness, a Pestel analysis assessed the macro environment and identified several opportunities that exist. Next, an analysis of the meso-level environment using Porter's 5 forces and the work of Greenwald and Kahn revealed that, as an incumbent, the organisation has a competitive advantage over new entrants due to substantial barriers to entry in the target market. This barrier to entry signifies a highly attractive market for the incumbent firm. Therefore, the organisation must differentiate itself from other incumbent suppliers to remain valid and profitable in the industry and target market. To gain an understanding of how the firm can differentiate and gain competitive advantage, the microenvironment and the internal capabilities of the organisation were analysed. Using the work of Barney, an assessment of physical, human and organisational capital highlights how the organisation differentiates, gaining a competitive advantage through its highly skilled workforce and an integrated service package of all vegetation solutions. The analysis of both the attractiveness of the market, the opportunities that exist, the robustness of the organisation's position, and its sustainable competitive advantage justifies a strategic position of mid-range pricing and superior quality service as a profitable and defensible situation.